Shalom, shalom. We are the disciples of Yahweh Shai. We come on here day in and day out, teaching that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the original Jews of the Bible. Every other race knows it except for us. We're walking around here calling ourselves black, Egyptian, Arabian, African, when we're none of those things. We are a nation of royalty. A lot of us want to act like peasants. We want to twerk and sell drugs on the corner. But you know, the Lord even prophesies about the young men of Israel being on the corners, having hatred towards their brothers, having hatred towards the woman of their bosoms, and having hatred towards their children. Now, the Lord Yahweh commands us to keep his laws, statutes, and his commandments. If we do not, we will be put to death without compassion nor mercy. Now, there is not a coincidence that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are at every corner, are at every street corner in the ghettos, selling drugs, pills, weed, whatever, right? The Bible speaks about that. They are destroyed. That is why they are on the street corners. Isaiah chapter 51 in verse 20. Thy son hath fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. So, the sons of the nation of Israel, they have fainted. They have grown weak because they know not the law, statutes, and the commandments of the Bible. The sons, the black men of Israel, they have grown weak because they don't know the knowledge of this Bible. So, they are on every street corner, just like a wild bull that is caught up in the net, right? A wild bull that is caught up in, a wild bull is not stable. A wild bull has no stability. They're not stable. They go the left to the right, to the right to the left. They're not planted down. They have no foundation, nor are they rooted. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of Yahweh, the rebuke of thy God. So black people that's on the streets today, the Bible prophesies about it. Thy sons are fainting. They are at the head of the street corners as a wild bull in a net. Why? Because the Lord has cursed them with confusion and with anger and with his fury. Thy sons are fainting. The black men of Israel, they are fainting. They have grown weak because they know not the law, statutes, and the commandments of the Bible. So because they have grown weak, there is no brotherhood amongst them. They kill each other, steal from each other, rob each other, commit adultery with each other, right? There is a wild bull in the net. A wild bull has no stability. A wild bull goes to the right, to the left, to the left, to the right. They are not founded and grounded. They have no foundation, nor are they rooted. Now, the Lord has rebuked them with fire, with fury in his anger. Those sons that are weak, because they know not the laws of God, they stand on the street corners all day and night with nothing else to do. They are as a wild bull in a net. They're full of anger, full of fury that the Lord has cursed them with. They're that wild bull that's caught in the net. They know not where to go. They stay on the corners all day. Who does that describe? That describes black people. I'm gonna read it again. Isaiah 51 and 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of Yahweh, the rebuke of thy God. So, princes of Israel, the black men, they have fainted, they have grown weak, because they know not the commandments of God. They lie, they stand at the street corners in every ghetto and every hood you see. Why? They are as the wild bull that's caught in the net. They have no direction. They go from the left to the right, to the right to the left. They're caught in the net. They're stuck in a loop. They're caught in that trap of forever staying on the street corner. They're caught in the net as forever staying on the street corners, right? Wonder why every ghetto you go to, you see black people on the street corners. The Bible prophesies about that too. That those young men that are on the corners, they're fainted. They have fainted. They have grown weak because they know not the commandments of the Lord. They are as a wild bull stuck in a net, meaning they're trapped. They go from the left to the right, to the right to the left. They're trapped. They cannot go anywhere else but stay stuck in a trap, which is the head of the streets. Why? Because they are fainted, because they know not the commandments of God. When you know not the commandments of God, the end result is the young men, the princes of Israel, standing on the street corner selling paraphernalia. They're as a wild bull stuck in the net. Isaiah 51:20 prophesies about that wild bull being stuck in the net, which is the trap. Every hood and every ghetto we go to, blacks and Hispanics are on the street corner. They're the wild bull that is stuck in the net, and that net is a trap. Sell drugs on the corner, get locked up on the corner. That's the trap that the wild bull is stuck into. And the wild bull cannot get out. Why? Because he has fainted. If you know not the law, statutes, and the commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you are weak, and you will continue to be that wild bull that is stuck in the net, that will fall into the trap every time. The Most High Power Yahweh, he prophesies about the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? We are rebellious people. We are rebellious people. The Lord knows that we're rebellious. The Lord knows that we love to do the things that we love to do only. We don't like to listen to the Lord, but us not listening to the Lord, that will result in us being fainted and grown weak from not keeping the commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Isaiah chapter 30 verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may yet sin to sin, destruction unto the rebellious, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who take counsel from other religions and other idols and other gods and other cultures, but do not take the counsel of the Lord, which are the law, statutes, commandments that is in this Bible. Because when we celebrate these American holidays, we add sin to sin. When we celebrate these American holidays, we commit idolatry, which is punishable by death. That is how we add sin to sin. And taking counsel from these other religions and believing in their gods and partaking in their customs and their culture. That is how we cover with a covering that is not of the Lord. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked that might mount to strengthen themselves and the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shade, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. A lot of us Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we trust in Egypt. We trust in America. We trust in Christianity. We trust in Islam. We trust in Catholicism. But guess what? None of these religions are going to help you when the Lord's wrath comes upon those who disobey His commandments. The food shortage is going to happen. This new virus that's out. The state of Pennsylvania has 95 cases of this new virus that's out. And this new virus is specifically for those who disobey the commandments of God. The Lord will not hold His tongue anymore concerning the wickedness of His people. The Lord is going to put a lot of His people to death. And a lot of us who take pride in America, who put our trust in America, we will crumble to the ground with America. None of these idols that you worship will save you. None of these religions that you convert to will save you. Your only protection is the law, statutes, and the commandments. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. So, the Lord knows that the nation of Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are rebellious children. They will not hear the law of the Lord. They want to hear about Islam. They want to hear about Christianity. They want to hear about Catholicism. But when it comes to the laws of the Lord, they don't want to hear it. They want to be rebellious and stiff-necked. Your rebelliousness will come at a cost of you getting put to death. Go, which say to the seer, see not, and to the prophet, prophesy not, unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. So, the rebellious house of the nation of Israel says to the prophets, do not prophesy unto us the things that we should be doing, which is to keep the law, statutes, and the commandments, but prophesying to us smooth things. Tell us the right things that we want to hear. Tell us lies. Tell us that God is with the Islamic doctrine. Tell us that lie, which He is not. Tell us that God will not require us to keep His laws, statutes, and His commandments. That's what the rebellious house of Israel tell the seers and the prophets. Prophesy to them. Their rebellious stiff-neck and their rebelliousness will come at a cost. Get ye out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore, thus says the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression, and perverseness, and stay thereof. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a branch, ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly in an instant. So, because a lot of the nation of Israel rebellious and stiff-necked, because they trust in America, because they trust in these other religions and these idols, because they would rather us prophesy deceits unto them and not the truth, that they will have to obey the commandments of God, they will continue in their iniquity, which is sin, and they will die. Their destruction will come upon them as quick as a branch falls off of a tree suddenly. That is how their destruction will come unto them. If all of us, the nation of Israel, we continue to be disobedient unto the laws, commandments, death and destruction is coming to us. Time is getting short. America is falling. Look at the economic system. Look at the food distribution. America is falling right before your eyes. And a lot of us don't see. The priests and prophets of the Lord are on the street corners for a reason, because for one, we are to be the watchmen unto the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You are the original Jews of the Bible. You are God's chosen people, and the Lord has commanded us to be watchmen because we see the danger coming, and obviously you do not. So if you do not see the danger coming, if you do not see that America is falling before your eyes, then it is our duty to come out here and let you know America is falling before your very eyes. And if you do not come out of America, then you will die with America. But the Lord does not want you to perish. The Lord wants you to turn from your wicked ways and seek life, which is the commandments of the Lord. Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 11. Say unto them, as I live, saith the Most High, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. So, we are commanded to come out here and to say to the wicked that the Lord does not have any pleasure in putting the wicked to death. The Lord wants you to live. But if you do not live and turn from your wicked ways, the Lord will have no choice but to put you to death. Turn ye from your evil ways, or why will ye die, O house of Israel? O house of Israel, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, why will you die? America is falling before your eyes. And a lot of us were walking, driving around here, going to parties, turning up, twerking, selling drugs, like America gonna be here forever. America is crumbling before your eyes. And the reason you don't see it is because you're asleep. So, the Lord has commanded us, the men of Israel, to be watchmen on the highways and byways, and to let you know that if you do not turn from your wicked ways, you will be put to death and you will be slaughtered without compassion or mercy. Therefore, thou son of man, say unto the children of thy people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. So, even to those brothers who are in the truth, if you're on the highways and the byways, and you get sucked back into the world, committing idolatry, adultery, sorcery, and you never turn from your wicked ways, your righteousness that you have done will not deliver you at the time that the Lord will deliver your destruction upon you. Why? Because you never turn from your wicked ways. You never seek the life, you seek death. Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 15. If the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he had robbed, walk in the statutes of life, without committing iniquity, he shall surely live and he shall not die. So, the wicked, those who are rebellious against the Lord's commandments, if they turn from their wicked ways and continue to keep the law, which is acceptable unto the Lord, without committing iniquity, the Lord will deliver them. America is falling pretty soon. Like the food shortages is happening little by percentages and by percentages. We will not be able to go into these stores and just grab what we want. When that happens, when the time comes that we will not be able to go into these stores and just grab what we want, the prophets of the Lord are going to be off the street corners. You're going to be searching for them up the block and down the block, from city to city, state to state. We're not going to be found. The words of the Lord are not going to be found. So, to those who are rebellious, this is your time to repent now. Because if you do not, when the food shortage happens, when the famine of the word happens, your repentance is going to be over. Now, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, speaks about the dry bones in the valley. The dry bones that are in the valley, they're the nation of Israel. Even though the nation of Israel, we're physically alive, but we're spiritually dead. Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 1. The hand of Yahweh was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of dry bones. So this valley was full of dry bones. This valley is the ghetto. The dry bones are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who do not know who they are. And because they do not keep the laws of God, they are spiritually dead. And caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. So, when the Lord took Ezekiel by the spirit and put Ezekiel in the midst of the valley, Ezekiel saw many dry bones. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they're physically alive, but they're spiritually dead. So they're dried up because they do not keep the law, statutes, and the commandments of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Most High, thou knowest. Again, he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. So, the dry bones that are in the valley, which are the nation of Israel, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you can live by keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments, by taking heed to the words of the Lord. The breath of life could be breathed into you, and you can come to life. Thus says the Most High, behold, these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. So, when you obey the commandments of the Lord will put breath into you, and you won't live. You'll start keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments. You'll start keeping the high holy days, the Sabbath, the feast days. You'll start applying the laws of God to your life, because the dead cannot keep the laws of God. The dead have no memory of their past life. They have no memory of their mother, father, brother, sister, uncle. They have no memory of the emotions of hatred, joy, peace. The dead know nothing. But we that's living on this earth, we know that we're going to die. But the dead, they know nothing at all. Now, the Lord is the one, God is the one who causes sickness. He's the one who causes the evil to happen and the good to happen. I don't know why that the nation of Israel believes that God is only a God of good. The Lord is a God of evil too. The Lord is the one who pits sicknesses on those who disobey His commandments. What do you think the Lord will do to the children of those who enslave His people? The Lord is going to enslave them too. In the kingdom of heaven, there are going to be slaves, handmaids, and men servants. The Lord commits evil. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there evil be in the city if the Lord have not done it? The Lord creates evil. He creates wickedness and peace and darkness. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Now, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American brothers that know this truth that's on these corners, they're on the street corners day in and day out, in season and out of season. They're blowing a trumpet by telling you to come back to the Lord by keeping His commandments. In the rebelliousness of the house of Israel, they're not afraid to disobey the commandments of the Lord. So you know what? The Lord is going to cause wickedness and evil to fall upon them. Quick as a bridge falls off of a tree, their destruction is going to come upon them. Quick as the whirlwind. Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. So, the God of the Bible, He creates darkness and He creates evil. He makes the good happen and He makes the bad happen. The God of the Bible is not a God of all good. That's a false balance. How do you think we have the ability to hate and to love? If we have the ability to hate and to love, where do you think we got those attributes and emotions from? We got it from the love. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. So, Just like the Lord formed the light by making the sun, by making the stars, the Lord created the dark. Just like the Lord can make good happen, the Lord can also make the evil happen. The Lord can send sicknesses upon you to take you off this earth. The Lord can curse you with cancer. The Lord can curse you with a skin disease. The Lord can curse you with a plague, with a sickness. That prescription pills will not help. The Lord is the one who makes the evil happen. The God of the Bible is not a God of all peace and love. The God of the Bible is not a God of all love. If we're not all love, if we can love and hate, where do you think that we get the attributes, so many emotions to love and hate? We get it from the God of the Bible. So, the Lord forms the light and he forms the darkness. He creates evil and good. The Lord do all these things. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that even I am he. There is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So, the Lord is the one who kills. The Lord is the one who brings people to life. The Lord is the one who sends sicknesses to kill people, to wipe them off the earth. The Lord is the one who heals people from sicknesses. It is the Lord who do all of these things. Satan, the devil, Lucifer. Lucifer has no power at all. Before Satan does anything, he has to get permission from the Lord. Then the Lord will give him permission from him to do so. See now that even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. So, for all of you that's being disobedient to God and thinking that God does not commit evilness and wicked acts, guess what? God kills and he makes alive. God is the one who kills, and God is the one who makes alive. God is the one who creates evil, and God is the one who creates peace. Now, the God of the Bible, the God that everyone claims they so-called believe, the God is the vengeful God and the wrathful God. He's the God of love, yes, but he's also a God of wrath and anger. And he will put to death those who disobey him by breaking his commandments. For I lift up mine hand to heaven and say I live forever. Verse 41, if I went my glittering sword and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies and will reward them that hate me. So, the Lord, he will bring vengeance upon those who hate him. How do you hate the Lord? You hate the Lord by disobeying His commandments. If you disobey the Lord's commandments, then that means you hate the Lord. When you hate the Lord, that means that the Lord will put you to death. Time is overweight. America is falling down. The food is running low. The economic system of America is dropping, crumbling down. So, if we see these things happening, of course we cannot depend on the very same government. We cannot depend on the very same government that is dwindling down and crumbling. If America is falling down, then the only thing that we can do is come back to the Lord by keeping His commandments. Because if we do not, then we will go down with America. So, this food shortage is happening right now. The food shortage that is happening right now. The Bible prophesies about the food shortage that we see. Family Dollar running out of food. Fresh Grocer, ShopRite running out of food. What are we going to do when you will not be able to go in your Family Dollar and grab a loaf of bread, roast beef, or lunch meat, or a whole turkey? What are you going to do? A lot of us are going to be stuck. We're not going to know what to do. Why? Because we are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. But the Bible prophesies about the food shortage that we're experiencing now. But we're going to experience it at a higher rate. Second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 22. And suddenly, shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So, the sown houses, suddenly the sown houses will appear empty. The sown full houses. The sown places will appear unsown. Right? A lot of these farmers are getting paid money to not grow crops. If they do not grow crops, guess what? America does not get food. If America does not get food, guess what? We do not eat. When we do not eat, a lot of farmers are getting paid top dollars to not grow crops. If they do not grow crops, your stores do not get food. When your stores do not get food, they are your storehouses that used to be full. Now, they will be empty. And when they become empty, a lot of us, we will not know what to do. But why? Because we know not to keep the laws of God. We disobey the Lord's commandments. So the Lord will give us over to destruction. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight, one against another, like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. So, it's going to come upon a time where you have the government, they're paying some farmers to not grow crops. If the farmers accept that money and do not grow the crops, then America will not be able to get the produce. You have very shortage of truck drivers. Because there's a shortage of truck drivers, there is no one to bring the produce into America. Your stores that have the produce in your supermarkets, your sown places will become unsown, and your storehouses will begin to be empty. When there's no more food in the supermarkets, the children of Israel will go crazy. Jacob's trouble will begin, and it will be more fluent in front of your eyes. A lot of us think that America will go back, or it's going back to the way it was, because right now you have the luxury of going to Family Dollar and buying what you need. But what happens when you do not have that luxury anymore of going to Fresh Grocery, or ShopRite, or Rite Aid, and getting what you need? Once that luxury is gone, then how will you live? Right now you're enjoying the luxury of going to the stores and getting what you want. But once the food goes, then everything is gone. Once everything is gone, then friends will start to turn against friends. Family will turn against family. All because of the lack of food. All because of the lack of bread. The storehouses will begin to be empty. Right now we have the luxury of going in these stores and getting what we need. But what happens when we do what?
Where's your microphone?
Where's my microphone? I don't have a mic right now.
Yeah. Next time I'm up this way, I got a little portable.
Right.
What's the name? I'll give it to you.
Of course. All
right.
praises to the Lord.
All right.
So, the storehouses that are full right now today, they will not be full. Right now we enjoy the luxury of going into these storehouses and getting what we need. But it's not going to be like that always. When that day comes, a lot of famine and death and destruction is going to happen. A lot of people are going to die because the storehouses are empty. A lot of friends are going to turn against each other because there's no more food. A lot of families are going to turn against each other because there is no more food. Book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, and verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So, because of the great tribulation, because of martial law, because of the unjust civil unrest, because of the food shortage, a lot of love will be lost. Families will turn on families. Friends will turn on friends. The love will wax cold. Because once the food is gone, we tend to turn into animals. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So, when a food shortage happens, right? If you got food in your house, then the man, the family, they're not going to have love towards you, but they're going to get up, get their boots off, they rope, tie you up, kick your door in with your food, and kill you and your family and take your spoil for the lack of bread, for the lack of food. Now, that is the times that we're going to have to face because of the lack of food, because of the lack of bread. The love of many will wax cold. No one will have compassion. If everybody realized that all of the grocery stores are empty with no food at all, your neighbor is going to kick in your door, tie you up with rope, take your food. Why? Because of the tribulation that they're going through, and because there is no food at all. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and of the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So, because of tribulation and the shortage of food, a lot of death and destruction is going to happen. And those who commit such acts, they'll feel that the power, that what they're doing is right. But one, because they're going through tribulation and there's no food. Once you take away the food, you see the animal comes out. But this is only to happen to those who disobey the laws, statutes, and commandments of God. Those who disobey the commandments of God, they will die without compassion or mercy. Second Esdras, chapter 15, verse 22. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon earth. So, the Lord's sword is not going to spare the sinners. Those who sin are those who break God's commandments. If you're not keeping God's commandments, you're a sinner. And God remembers those who break his commandments. And because of that, the Lord will put you to death if you do not turn from your ways and live, seek life, which is to keep the commandments of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. The fire is going forth from his wrath and has consumed the foundation of the earth in the center like the straw that is kindled. So, the same thing that fire does to straw, fire, it burns straw up. Fire burns straw. When fire burns the straw has no foundation nor roots. Those who disobey the commandments of God, they will be burnt alive in a thermonuclear warfare. They will be put to death with no compassion nor mercy, because they sin against the Lord. Verse 24, most of those that sin and keep not my commandments, says Yahweh, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. You found not my sanctuary. The Lord says destruction unto those who don't. The Lord says destruction unto those who break his commandments. If you're a black, Hispanic, and Native American, and if you disobey the commandments of God, destruction is unto you. The Lord remembers those who break his commandments. The Lord remembers those who keep his commandments as well. Those who break the Lord's commandments, they will be put to death. They will have no root, neither foundation, like the straw that is burnt up by the fire. For Yahweh knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them to death and destruction. So the Lord, he knows all of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who want to be rebellious and who want to break his commandments. The Lord knows who you are. If you do not change from your wicked ways, if you do not seek life, the wages of sin, the wages of breaking the commandments of God is death. And the Lord will bring death upon those who break his commandments. For the plagues come upon them. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For Yahweh shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. So the plagues, the diseases, the sicknesses, they're coming upon the earth. Those who live today, they're going to have to live through Jacob's trouble, and they're going to have to endure. But those who sin against the Lord by breaking his commandments, the Lord will not deliver you in that day. The Lord will cause you to perish, and if he puts you to death, the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 2. God is a jealous God. God is jealous. And Yahweh revenges and it furies. Yahweh will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserves his wrath for his enemies. So, the God of the Bible, he is a jealous God for sure. And those who hate him by disobeying his commandments, the Lord will take his vengeance upon you. The Lord will deliver you into the famine. The Lord will deliver you into the hand of that wicked cop. The Lord will deliver you into a hand of the wicked one who will put you to death because you break the commandments of God. Lord is hot as an oven. The day of the Lord is coming. The day of the Lord is not to be played around with. The day of the Lord is coming upon those who disobey the commandments of God, and the Lord will show his wrath and his anger. Malachi chapter 4 verse 1. For behold, the day cometh, that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So, the day of the Lord is coming. The day of the Lord is going to be hot as an oven. That day is going to destroy the wicked and the rebellious ones who disobey the Lord's commandments. It's going to leave them neither roots nor branch. But you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his way, and shall go forth and grow up as the calves of the stag. And you shall tread down the wicked, but they shall be ashes under the foot of your feet. And the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. So, the righteous, those who obey the commandments of the Lord, they will have the opportunity to step on the wicked who disobey the Lord's commandments. Those who break the Lord's commandments and continue to live a sinful lifestyle, they're going to be put to death without compassion nor mercy. So, it is high time for the nation of Israel to wake up out of sleep. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, why will you die? The Lord wants you to keep his commandments, but if you do not, he has no choice but to put you to death. We are the disciples of Yahweh Shai, come out here day in and day out, teaching that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the original Jews of the Bible, and that the Lord requires of you to wake up. With that being said, I say Shemai, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Yanawa, Yahweh Akah. That is, here Israel, Yahweh Apawa, Yahweh is one. Shalom.